Hey everyone, welcome back to another Anime Kingdom review. As you see by title below, this is on episode 10 of Koutetsujou no Kabaneri. And this episode, it's a good build-up episode in my opinion. Definitely a lot better than the last one, I think. Things are starting to really boil down. They're about to hit the main city. And now we're left with a bunch of questions on how it will end on these next two episodes, as well as the fact that will there be a season 2 or not. From the standpoint of what I've been seeing, it doesn't look like there will be. It looks like everything's going to be ending in these next two episodes unless they have some crazy thing happen. That, I mean, obviously, no matter what happens, the Kabane are still going to be there, so it is possible that they can have another season. But I don't know. From a story standpoint, it just seems like they're trying to end it with this whole thing right here. Though we may never know. I don't know. Like, besides the fact of them stopping Biba, if they were to stop him, or Biba, I don't know, maybe they want to have a bad ending or something, and Biba, kills his father and ends up taking over the whole kingdom and everything, what is going to happen that is actually a good point right there. That literally just popped in my head. That's the only way I could see a season 2. If they were to stop Biba, then, I mean, what would we have left besides them trying to, reclaim cities maybe and push back the Kabane, which doesn't really have a good story in my opinion. It wouldn't really be that well. It'd just be some side kind of things. But this is a good thing that Biba will actually stop. I mean, kill his father, take over the kingdom. The kingdom ends up being under his control, where the weak die out and the strong survive, and thus creates some type of rebellion kind of thing. That I can see happening for a season 2, if there's a season 2. But overall, if Biba does succeed, I don't see there being a season. Doesn't succeed, I don't see there being a season 2. But yeah, let's talk about this episode overall. Like I said before, it's definitely more of a build up. It's pretty much, you can review it pretty easily in the fact that Ikoma and the rest of Koutetsujou crew are trying to do a rebellion. They are pretty much being used as fodder, taking their blood for the Kabaneri and the Kabane on the train. So, yeah, pretty much that's what's going on. They decide that they're going to fight back. They figure out a certain plan, when to do it. Obviously, they're about to hit the main city, and that is when they want to stop him before that. So of course, obviously, Biba knows, and he wants to crush all of rebellions before it starts, pretty much. And he knew before, took away the key, and pretty much, if he knew that was all gonna happen, he lost a lot of men. To be honest, he could have just not had that kind of thing happen. If he predicted it, what was the point of all that? I mean, Biba is a psycho, so I really cannot just, I can't think like, oh, why would he do that? I mean, he's crazy. He can do whatever he wants. He's crazy. Um, but the big question for me, honestly, in this whole thing is the whole that we get to learn about a little bit about this first. With his, how Bibo was actually a 12-year-old. What the hell? When he was a commander, and they first sent out him and his, the army that he commanded, and they were winning. They were pushing the Kabani back, but all of a sudden supplies stopped coming. We finally get to learn more about that, and how all of a sudden the supplies stopped coming, and a lot of people ended up dying probably. And I guess you can kind of see why he went crazy like the way he did in this. I'm not saying it's justified, but you can kind of understand why he went super psycho. It kind of makes sense. He's kind of in the right a little bit, because if his father really did do that, that's messed up to not only him but all his troops and everything. But I just we haven't seen his father, so I don't really have a good estimate or a good, I can't really see and say he would do this kind of thing. So it's really hard to say, but I just don't see a father doing that. And even if the father was, did do that on purpose, even for that reason, I don't think he would do that for the reasoning of they were pushing the Kabani back. They were winning. So you wouldn't, sabotage that kind of thing, right? They don't want the Kabani to take over more of the, cities, take over more of the kingdom. They want to push them back. So I honestly don't think it's the father. I think it's some type of conspiracy. Someone stopped that kind of stuff from happening, and that is the real reasoning. Obviously, Biba probably doesn't realize that happened either. There may be even a chance that his father doesn't even know he's alive, kind of thing. Maybe there's some, like I said, a conspiracy thing going on in the capital city, and they're that kind of stuff is going on. That's a possibility. I'm not saying that's what's going on. It really could just be the father is like an asshole and he left them for dead, kind of thing. That's honestly possible. It just doesn't seem like the most, like, I don't see that being the reasoning. Like, I don't see that how that is. So that is one of the main things I want to learn, and we probably will learn more about in this next episode, since there's only 2 more episodes left. And if everything is going to go down the way I think it's going to go down, we're probably going to have the next episode be kind of, telling more information on all that kind of stuff. They make it to the capital city and things start to go crazy. Episode 12 will probably be some super explosive kind of thing. Maybe a little bit episode 11 at the end will be explosive as well. And everything will just hit the boiling point, hit the tip of everything, and just blow up. I'm not too sure how it's going to end. Like I said before, if Biba does succeed, we can be seeing something like that, a rebellion kind of thing for season 2. Now, if he ends up losing, I don't really see a way how this would end up having a season 2. Now, the other thing is Mumi's under mind control. Obviously, she's stupid. She, like, till that one point, she was even believing, like, oh, if they're all good, then, we won't hurt them. Really? Come on, Mumi. After what you saw him do. Like, literally. And then, of course, she finally figures it out, and it's too late. They end up, like, grabbing her and injecting her with something that ends up being able to control her. And, of course, we see her end up killing Ikoma, which probably he isn't dead, obviously, or the show would be finished. But he pretty much, the whole thing that happens there, we see that Takumi, did I expect him to die? No, I actually didn't expect any of the main characters to really die at all. Now, when it came to the point, it was kind of obvious that Takumi would do that, jump in from the way, like he said he couldn't do it before. This time he wanted to do it. Now, is Takumi really dead? Because he was able to move and grab the jewel that, Ikoma dropped. It might just been last reaction, like last kind of, he was about on death's edge and he grabbed it before. It's possible he is alive, barely, not too sure. More leaning towards the way that he is dead, and it's kind of the fuel, him being dead and Mumi being under mind control will be the fuel that ignites Ikoma to, he's on the verge of death. He's obviously not going to die, but maybe that'll push him to get out of that situation, somehow get there and defeat Biba. How will he get back? How will he follow a train? That is a question. I honestly really don't see him, like, even if he lives, what's he going to do? The train's already almost there. There's no way, even if he gets on the train, they would still be behind. So he'd be there at the end when the battle's already starting kind of thing, or towards the middle or end. So I don't know what's going to happen there, if he's going to have some, like, something going on, maybe a little bit more about his past, see more about his sister kind of thing, and it'll fuel him and push him forward kind of thing. The kind of cliche things that we always see for those kind of situations. Now, will Mumi be able to break the mind control? I think it won't happen until Ikoma comes kind of thing, maybe. I don't know. It's really hard to say. I don't really know how this mind control works. I also don't know if Biba is going to... He's obviously... No, he's not... Not if he's going to. He's going to. He's going to use her to become the fused colony. Now, how will that react? Will they be able to save her, unlike, what happened before? I'm not too sure, but that might be the big thing that happens at the end. But yeah, overall, that was pretty much the episode, the whole rebellion, learning more about Biba's past, learning more about what he wants to do, learning more about, not learning more about, but seeing Takumi die, seeing Mumi under mind control, Ikoma falling off the train into the water, and they're about to hit the main city. And that just signifies, boom, next episodes are going to be explosives. Now, that's pretty much like everything that happened in the episode. I honestly cannot wait for the next episode to see what's going to happen. Will it be crazy? I want to learn more about, was it really a conspiracy, or is it really the father just being an ass? Will be able to succeed? Will there be a season 2? What will Ikoma do? There's literally a lot of things I have left up, questions that are left unanswered at the moment, and I cannot wait to see how they will end all of this in, these last 2 episodes. Because overall, I will have to admit, the first beginning episodes, like, for a long time, I was actually really enjoying this. Lately, it's still been good, but it's not been as good as I have, enjoyed the first beginning episodes. It's definitely gone a little bit downhill, mostly because I just feel like I really, like I said before, I enjoyed the whole aspect of them trying to survive, them trying to get away, them, not trusting Ikoma and Ikoma gaining their trust, Mumi gaining their trust, her changing, Ikoma changing, them, both developing more and more. And then all of a sudden Biba comes, and I feel like all that development just went down the drain. Mumi completely just under control until like finally now she figured out, and well, ironically she goes back under control. Ikoma shows to be getting stronger and stronger. Definitely more of a person that you can rely on. And all of a sudden now he just feels so weak. He can't do anything. It's that normal, when Takumi dies, you see the main character crying, and he's looks like he wants to fight, but he really can't do anything, and he gets pushed off. And then the main character comes back being a badass. That's probably what's gonna happen. But overall, that's why I feel like these last episodes haven't been as good as how it was before. But I'm hoping that these next two episodes and how it concludes will definitely reignite my, how I feel about this whole anime overall. Because honestly, when it first started, I was like, dang, this is amazing. And it was still really good throughout the season. But like I said, towards the end, it's starting to get a little, just the cliches, a lot of cliches, and a lot of just like, oh yeah, of course that would happen. Oh, of course, the villain's not even that interesting for me as well. It's more of what's going to happen with Biba, his backstory. Did the father really do that? That kind of interests me, but that's pretty much about it. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. Overall, I can't wait to see how this concludes. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Anything I missed you want to talk about, comment below as well. And yeah, until next time, guys. See